I'm a fan.
Welcome back to another edition of Tracking the Wolves with your voice of the Northern State University Wolves. I'm Ben Root. Well, looking back at this past week of action, the Northern football team started their season off with a loss and their home opener, Winona State, taking care of business 47-13 as the Wolves' Jared Jacobson was able to pick up the lone touchdown for Northern on the day, running it in for the lone TD. But Nathan Shaw added in a couple other scores with 2 field goals in that 47-13 loss for Northern in Week 1 action. On the volleyball court, NSU went down south to Nebraska, going 3-1 at the Kearney tournament, picked up victories over the School of Mines, Newman, and Western State out of Colorado, but did fall to the 9th-ranked team of the country, those Lopers of Nebraska Kearney. Meanwhile, on the pitch, it was a 1-1 weekend for the Northern Wolves. They came up short in their opener at Jerdy Field 2-0, losing to Northwest Missouri State, but bounced back with a nice 3-1 win as Anna Bondi put in 2 goals and helped out with an assist as well as the team knocked off Washburn. And Sasha Hoven took 5th place overall at the Augie Twilight, and it was good enough to earn her the NSIC Cross Country Athlete of the Week honor. We'll be right back in just a moment with this week's interviews.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
Welcome to another edition of Tracking the Wolves, your voice of the Northern State University Wolves here, Ben Root. And time to talk a little soccer today on Tracking the Wolves. And joining us a pair of sophomores, both from the capital cities of their state, one right here in South Dakota, one down in Texas. We're joined by Anna Bondi out of Pierre, and also from Austin, Kay Hernandez. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
And, well, the two of you coming in from your capitals. First off, of course, we know some stuff about Pierre. Is Anna, a sophomore, both sophomores actually with us. One thing I have to ask you about Pierre, where's the place to eat in Pierre? Where's
the place to eat?
Yeah, the best place to go get some grub. I know my choice, but what do you?
I enjoy the Guadalajara.
Oh, okay.
He was my soccer coach in high school, and he owns it, so we always get the free food.
Oh, free food. That's
yeah.
If I mention you, do I get a deal then?
Oh, I bet you would.
How about in Austin? I know a lot of good food places there, especially South by Southwest. You get a lot of cool stuff with that. But
yeah, we're actually known for the food trucks, like the trailer trucks. They're everywhere downtown. So.
Oh wow! I always look for those, and I never seem to find them. But I'm sure there's a lot more in Austin. A lot of people down there. You know, coming into this second season for both of you. But first off, Anna, of course, coming in from Pierre. Nobody else from Pierre on the squad, but we've got people from Sioux Falls, Aberdeen, a couple players, and I think Watertown as well. How's it kind of playing with players that you're used to playing against?
It's kind of cool because I've known them all throughout high school, always playing against them, being competition, but now finally actually working together with them, it's kind of cool how they bring their flair in from high school, and compared to mine, it just all kind of works. Is
there any kind of mentioning of previous games, say, hey, we beat you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Kay coming in from Texas, anybody else on the squad from your home state or anybody you knew, or were you kind of all fresh in with nobody you knew here?
Yeah, I didn't know anybody but Coach, obviously. There is someone from Texas, Steph. She's from Dallas, though, so.
Okay. You
Yeah.
guys still talk Texas stuff? Or
Yeah, we're always about Texas.
compare boots and hats. Now, looking at going into this season, your sophomore year, looking back at the freshman year, how would each of you kind of compare going into this season, your sophomore year, and going into your freshman year, and all the different things you kind of worried about? I guess start us off, Anna.
Well, I think this year, I think we'll feel a little more comfortable. We're not so freaked out about all freshman year. Now that, since like we're all returners, then basically our whole starting lineup is all returners. So I feel like we'll all be able to work together more and connect, and it's not so scary out there on the field.
How about you, Kay? Feel a little
Yeah.
more comfortable? Or?
Yes, definitely. Like I know what to expect, and also we got new freshmen that will help us out. So, yeah.
Now, just a couple games in, have you noticed a difference on the field as far as being able to communicate and maybe doing so without saying, hey, I'm going this way, be able to read body language maybe a little more?
Yeah, we are definitely connecting a lot better this year. And like from the forwards point of view, I guess, we know like the different runs that each other makes because we've done it last year. So we know what they're going to do. So that's nice.
Now, Anna, I saw you're midfielder on the website. Are you playing some forward now too, or what?
Yeah, this last game I played outside mid where Kay plays, but I usually play in the center forward area, usually.
Do you prefer to be more on the offensive end, Kay, or do you
Definitely.
pad the stats and get some goals out there? Now, coming in, of course, last year, your first year with Coach Kim, learning from a new coach and everything. What's, I guess, some of the stuff that you learned and maybe gained the most from Coach Kim and, switching coaches and everything? Like, either one of you, go ahead. Okay.
Well, definitely, like the last game, our main focus is something different. So last game, we were focusing on listening to what he says and reacting. So I think I've learned so much from Coach Kim.
What is something that you learned from Coach your first year, Anna?
My first year? Well, basically, it was like a lot different than high school because we always we have like set plays that we work on, and we've never done that before. And just, I don't know how it all just kind of, it's cool how things like that will work in a game, how you never expect that, but it just does.
So he's not just doing set plays out of like a corner kick?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we have like a set thing for every game, so that's nice.
Last season, Anna, you had 8 points, I think 3 goals, 2 assists, if I remember right, which was second on the team. And this off season compared to your off season coming into college, which I'm sure is doing a lot of paperwork, figuring out where you're going to live and everything. Kind of what did you do this past off season? It was probably more soccer related, I guess.
Well, we have like a list of workouts that we have to do all summer, and what I really need to work on is my shooting. So I did a lot of that this summer. So now I'll be more confident during the games to shoot the ball. And I worked on my touches and my dribbling and my running, and I think I'll be a lot better this year.
Well, sounds good. As we get to wrapping things up here with Anna Bondi and Kay Hernandez here for the soccer squad, a couple of sophomores. One thing about Coach Kim, we always joke with him on Sports Hub about Nickelback. Does he make you listen to Nickelback, or?
I always hear it in his office every day. He always has it playing.
Oh man. Okay. Now, if you were taking a long road trip, as we kind of get to wrap things up here, say you're taking a trip to Australia or something, you can choose three items: a book, a CD, a movie, any of those, any combination. What would be like your top 3? Kay, what do you?
Just those items?
Yeah, you could be 3 books or one of each.
Oh,
or,
God.
Depends on if you're a reader. See, I wouldn't take any books, but that's me.
I would take the movie Safe Haven. I would take a book, a big one. I don't know the name.
Kill time, okay.
Yeah, I like reading. And then my iPod. Oh, you mean like a
what
CD?
Yeah, that's like a CD.
What are CDs?
Probably like Neo.
Okay, something new. All right. How about you, Ann?
I would probably bring all movies. I'm not much of a reader, but
What are your top three, I guess?
my top three? Oh boy. Probably She's the Man. That's a classic. And I would say The Titanic. It's a long movie. And then some other, I don't know, I couldn't think about it.
All right, well, that works.
Yeah.
And do you guys watch soccer too when you're not playing, or more of just playing than?
We were actually assigned a team for the World Cup this past summer, so we watched a bunch of games, and we had to do like worksheets over it.
Yeah.
Kind of studying how they played and that sort of thing?
How different teams play, yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Well, good luck this season. Next up, you've got SDSU on Thursday, and then start conference play Sunday, September 14th. Moorhead comes to town at Judy Field. That's Anna and Kay. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
And you've been listening to Tracking the Wolves with your voice of the Northern Wolves, Ben Root.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
With commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why. These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
Welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Your voice of the Northern Wolves here, Ben Root. And time to talk a little volleyball in this edition of Tracking the Wolves. Joining us on the show, Tori Biach on the show. How you doing, Tori?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming in. I'm sure this is the highlight of the day.
Of course it is.
Everybody loves to be on TV. Well, you come in from Bradenton, Florida, as you mentioned here before we were on air. How do you end up in South Dakota from Florida?
Well, the NSIC just offers such a strong volleyball conference. Like every year, 5 of the top 25 teams in the country for volleyball are in the NSIC. So I looked at a couple different schools in the NSIC, and I came to Northern for summer camp, and I impressed the coach, and he gave me an offer, and I love the school, so here I am.
So you searched out the school instead of the coach coming to you. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, I talk to a lot of coaches, especially when you go out of region. It's hard for them to see you because their prime location for recruiting is not out of Florida. So if you want to go somewhere, you have to send your stuff there and come to camp because they don't see you in tournaments like most coaches would.
So you have people recording a lot of your games down in Florida to kind of put them on the web and send them over? Or?
Yes, you always put together like a recruiting video and everything like that.
A lot different than it used to be, that's for sure. Now, what should people know about Bradenton, Florida?
Tropicana is there, so your orange juice can come from there sometimes. It's warm, it's very hot all the time. Played a lot of beach volleyball because it's pretty close to the beach.
Now, that's what I was going to ask you. I'm from SoCal, Anaheim area. There was a lot of beach volleyball, although for some reason I'm an indoor guy. I don't like to play beach so much. Maybe it's because I couldn't jump so well in it. Is it as big in Florida as it is in California? Because, I mean, we have boys volleyball in high school. I mean, how's the situation in Florida as far as that goes?
I would say it's probably a little less than California, but most definitely still a huge part of the culture. And less so in like the high school with teams, but everyone's out on the beach playing. There's guys, girls, they're all the time playing. You can always find a pickup game. It's most definitely a big sport.
A lot of club teams.
A lot of club teams.
A successful season last year, second team all at SIC, hit 308, really good percentage, and starting off the season really well in that too. But what do you kind of credit your last season to as far as the success goes, having a good year?
I think that a lot of it is credited to Brent, our coach. He really went out of his way to develop a middle offense that played to my strengths because I'm like a middle outside hybrid player. I'm not your typical middle, but I'm not your typical outside. So he really developed some sets that tailored to my strengths, which is jumping high. So quickness, jumping high. So he really tailored a lot of the sets to my strengths, which I think helped me a lot in standing out last year and this year as well.
Of course, if you can't have somebody to get the ball to you, it doesn't work out very well. But Drew doing a great job out there.
Of course, yeah. Drew listened to everything he said. We work a lot on sets and different sets, and I'm sure that she loves that she has to have a completely different sets for me as she does for our other middle, Carrie, and because we're like opposite middles. Like you couldn't have two more opposite players. So a lot of it goes to her too, because she has done a great job making sure that she puts the ball where we need it to be successful.
Tori Biach here from the Wolves volleyball team joined us on the Tracking the Wolves here. Now, hitting 308 last year, this year just 4 matches in, but right around 500, only 2 errors in 4 matches. Is that something you concentrated on this off season to try and just get it in, or are you just easing up trying to get it in over there or something?
No, I've just really been working a lot on when the set isn't there or when we're out of system, using shots that sometimes could be kills, but at the same time, like when the set's there, I'm going for it. I'm going for it, but I most definitely worked on diversifying my game so that way I'm not making as many errors, but also getting as many kills as well.
So not just going up full swing if it's not there, kind of playing smarter ball, I guess, which a lot of the older guys, I think I'm starting to get into that category, do on occasion. Now, also tied for the team lead in blocks last year, if I remember correctly. Now, would you take a nice, pound at a 10-foot line over a good roof, or what would you take out there?
I think that blocking is more satisfying because you get less blocks than you do kills. I mean, it feels great when you kill the ball, like a great hit, but at the same time, you kind of know when you block them, it's like you're in their heads, like I took that away from you. So it's kind of a mind game. Both are enjoyable, but blocking's probably you get more excited about.
Okay. You're in my group then, so that's good. Now looking at the school side of things, you major in biology. How is that kind of going for you? Is everything as you'd expected, I guess, on the classroom side?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I came to Northern. I love the fact that I can take all the classes I need. I'm actually a bio and a chem major, so I'm busy. I'm very busy. I want to go to med school afterwards. But the professors are great. They go out of their way when I miss class to help me catch back up, or if I'm going to miss a lab, be able to go into the lab at a different time. And I think that's something that you don't get at a larger school. So for me, academics is number one because that's the rest of my life. Volleyball's great. It's a great experience. I love playing here, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a professional volleyball player. So I'm really glad that the professors are so understanding about the demanding schedule that we have as athletes.
Was that one of the big adjustments, I'd assume, coming in, was kind of balancing that schedule a little bit more with being on the road especially?
Yeah, it's always an adjustment, and the toughest part is missing class. It's like, well, great, now I have to miss this assignment and come in now, and you just have to be really organized, which I was good at coming in, which helped me last year, but it's always a constant battle of staying ahead and making sure you're not falling behind, because next thing you know, you're missing Friday, Thursday, Friday, and you can't be behind.
Oh, man. Now, in biology and chemistry, too, you're talking about labs. A lot of times you have to deal with your lab partners. I mean, do you have to have somebody else that can come in at different times, or how does that work?
Sometimes you do the labs by yourself. Sometimes you get lucky and there's another athlete in the class that's going to miss the same day and you make it up then. It just depends on the class, but overall, they help you out and you're able to do it.
As we get to wrapping things up here with Tori Biach with the Wolves volleyball team here on Track of the Wolves, one other thing to ask you, kind of, I guess, to get to know you. If you were on a road trip, say you're playing an attorney in Australia, you're going to be gone for a while. You get 3 items. You can take a book, a movie, CD, or any combo, one of each, however, 3 books. What do you take?
I'd probably take books. all three books. I'm kind of a nerd.
Any particular book? Do you take in your chem books so you don't fall behind?
Yeah, I'd probably bring my textbooks. Yeah, honestly, I'd bring my textbooks.
Just don't bring your lab stuff on the plane.
Yeah, leave the lab behind.
I think you can do that. Well, thanks for joining us, Tori. Appreciate it.
Yep.
That's Tori Biach with the Wolves volleyball team. As far as the schedule coming up, tourney here in town this weekend. Friday and Saturday, Southwest Baptist and SCSU. On Friday and then Saturday, it's Minot and Crookston. And we'll start the NSIC season coming up next Tuesday. That is the 16th, 7 o'clock start time at the Barnett Center. They'll go up against Moorhead Dragons and Wolves, and we'll have it for you at ESPN 1420 1071, by the way. I'll be on the call for that. That's another edition, the volleyball edition, if you will, of Tracking the Wolves with your voice of the Wolves, Ben Root.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's Tracking the Wolves. Looking at the upcoming schedule for your Northern sports teams. Football teams back in action Saturday as they take on Concordia St. Paul. First road trip for the Wolves this season. 6 o'clock kickoff there in St. Paul against the Golden Bears, who also come in 0-1 after a narrow loss to third-ranked team in the country in Duluth in their opening contest. NSU has a big volleyball tournament this weekend as well at the Barnett Center. The Northern team will play at 12:15 and 7 o'clock each day, Friday and Saturday. Southwest Baptist and SCSU, their first two opponents on Friday, and then Saturday they'll draw Minot and Minnesota Crookston. 3 other NSIC teams they're playing there. However, those are not conference games. And also next week, NSIC opener is on Tuesday, September 16th, 7 o'clock at the Barnett Center. They'll take on Moorhead, and that game will be broadcast on ESPN 1420 1071, your home for the Wolves, as of course the football will be on Saturday as well. As for the soccer team, they draw SDSU on the road on Thursday the 11th, and then this weekend they will host Moorhead Sunday the 14th, 3 o'clock start time there at Jurdy Field to start conference play for them. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Tracking the Wolves.